Hey, I tend to be very critical of conspiracy theories. I like looking at them and considering them. I tend to try to look at the most conservative explanations, the simplest explanations. I'm also a fan of complexity. I don't like it when people discount possibilities because of their perception of it potentially being conspiratorial. There have been a lot of conspiracies in our history, and actually even in our lifetimes. And conspiracy is a crime, right? And one of the things that I consider sort of a conspiracy theory is that that information, and the truth is being suppressed on YouTube, right? It's a conspiracy that it's a conspiracy theory that true information is being flagged and censored and stifled on Facebook, right? Because Mark Zuckerberg's trying to make sure that it's a safe platform that's safe for everybody, and that and we're all exposed to true information. Now, I take issue with the way that Mark Zuckerberg is doing it. I actually have a competing concept for Facebook. I'm not going to sort of plug it in this video. I do think that I would do a better job of managing a social media platform for humanity. I really think so. So, Mark Zuckerberg, if you see this, maybe you want to hire me, because I think that people have every right to see information that is potentially false or that is false, because I think that actually the training of the capacity of discernment in individuals is much more important than protecting people from falsity. We want every individual on this planet, we want every social media user to be empowered by the capacity of discernment. Could you imagine that? Wouldn't that be amazing? Somebody comes out there and be like, oh, I don't know, Donald Trump is an alien from Mars who's shape shifting or whatever, and like true, false, true, boom, bang, and then like the whole, because everybody is, no, let's say Donald Trump is a piece of cheese and he's a robot. Just got to say something really, really dumb, right? What can I say? I don't know. I was trying to figure out something really dumb to say. I don't know. Plants are a conspiracy. They're fake. They grow into your inner organs, and they produce toxic substances in your apartment. You certainly don't want to have any plants in your apartment because they produce methane, right? like, like we can disprove stuff that's false, right? I hope that was entertaining. But the thing that just got to me, like, everybody's following coronavirus. It is Sunday, March 22nd, 2020. And I mean, unless I'm out exercising and I can tell the police that I'm just exercising, I'm under quarantine. So like I'm sitting around. I mean, I cleaned, I listened to some stuff. I'm like, oh man, I don't know. It's just strange. But this is what just struck me. So there's this Facebook group, there's about the coronavirus thing in patients 37 days after they're diagnosed. Yeah, sure. Probably the coronavirus is like just present. It's probably like existent, and it's going to wind up doing its thing. And I posted this image, which is a fantastic image about the science of testing and about the PCR test, the polymerase chain reaction test, where the tests detect genetic sequences of viruses, but not the viruses themselves. So it's not really about viral load. It's not about counting viruses. And where the inventor of the test really writes a few things that make you go, are we really using these tests correctly, right? where the test is called Nothing Like an Exact Science that says definitively Ebola or HIV or coronavirus is present in this patient, right? So the tests may be giving us just nonsense information, right? And the lecture that I got these slides from was a lecture from a doctor named Dr. Bergman, and it was called How to Wipe Out the Coronavirus. Now, it was a reasonable, look at that. This video has been removed for violating YouTube's community guidelines. I watched that lecture. And then I couldn't remember the doctor's name. And I found him. Here he is. Health is Your Natural State, Dr. John Bergman. Ooh, censorship or keep spreading fear. Right. So I guess he got wind that his how to wipe out coronavirus video has been removed. I'm telling you, I watched that lecture. It was informative, well planned out. I found out about this Carrie B. Mullis, the guy who got the Nobel Prize for inventing the PCR test to detect HIV, right? But it really, the test itself apparently is just a way to amplify what's in the sample and then to kind of do your, supposedly it has to be in very, very, very controlled surroundings. And I guess it's a way of just really amplifying to kind of get a better idea of what's in something. It's sort of a reverse microscope. So instead of like looking smaller, you make what's in there bigger, and more, which is interesting. And Dr. Carrie Mullis was a really interesting character. Apparently has a biography, or passed away August of 2019. I remember I looked this doctor up, looked up his Wikipedia information or something like that. Just an interesting character, like a surfer guy. It was a really, so basically what I'm saying is I took screenshots of these slides while Dr. Bergman was giving a lecture. I can't even think of the slightest thing in that video, in this video, that could be considered to violate any kind of video platform's guidelines whatsoever. It was an informative lecture. The channel's still there, right? So one possibility is, Dr. John, look, I'm sorry. When you see something like this, let's run through some possibilities, right? So, it's just, to me, this is unbelievable. Click it. It really has been removed for violating YouTube's community guidelines. Now, maybe Dr. John Bergman isn't a doctor at all. Maybe I'm not sure if you're a doctor of chiropractic or a Western medical practitioner. Maybe this guy is a complete fraud. He's got a Mexico clinic apparently. I don't know. I've watched a few videos. Hero dad finding help for his autistic son. Well, Dr. Mendez adjusting wife in third trimester. This is all of Dr. Bergman's. There's Dr. Bergman doing an adjustment. Adjusting a patient with 3 osteoporotic fractures. Okay, so Dr. Bergman is a chiropractor. I don't want to play any ads or anything. So, and let's see, is it going to show me an ad? Is the channel down? Okay, good. Right. So Dr. Bergman is a chiropractor that, you know, is adjusting somebody here. I'm gonna, I mean, I hate to say this, I'm gonna assume that Dr. Bergman is, I mean, you know, approaching 1 million subscribers, but I'm gonna assume this would be belief, right? This is the difference between belief and knowledge. Um, I'm gonna assume, so I'm gonna go ahead and believe that Dr. Bergman is a real doctor. Went to chiropractic school. He knows what he's doing here. He's not endangering the patient there. And I watched a lecture. It was really good. I learned about this Mullis, right? Is that right? No, it's on the, I'm remembering being Dr. Carrie Mullis. I'm going to go click back again. Right, Dr. Carrie Mullis. I learned about who Dr. Carrie Mullis is, a super interesting character. I'm probably going to read his biography. It was an autobiography because I thought that was really neat. You know, Nobel Prize winning doctor, things that this Nobel Prize winning doctor wrote and said, stuff about the coronavirus. I just wouldn't have any idea why that video, it says it. It says, this video has been removed for violating YouTube's community guidelines. Learn more. Yeah, right, policies and safety. How does knowing about the things that the Nobel Prize winning doctor who invented the PCR test that is currently being used to potentially identify the coronavirus, how is learning about that doctor's statements and words, thoughts, how is me knowing about Dr. Carrie Mullis, the inventor of the PCR test who got the Nobel Prize, how does that violate YouTube's community standards? What about safety? Am I now less safe because I know who Dr. Carrie Mullis was? Because I've read that the tests cannot detect free infectious viruses at all. They can only detect proteins that are believed in some cases wrongly to be unique to HIV. That makes me really curious. That makes me think, okay, geez, you know, how are we detecting this coronavirus? And is the test valid? And are we getting false positives? And are we getting false negatives? That sparks a lot of creativity in me, and it sparks a lot of interest in me, and it makes me want to protect the future. It makes me want to protect my children's generation, my grandchildren's generation, my great-grandchildren's generation. It makes me want to find out what's true and what's false, and buy equipment and do tests and make teams. I have no idea how I could possibly be less safe by the lecture that I watched. And frankly, a lot of times I download YouTube videos that I think are exposing information that might be questionable or suppressed, right? So like real, like hard truth stuff, like serious. Somebody come, I don't know what example to use. Free energy is the one that comes up, but I don't want to lock myself in a particular position even with this video because I'm going to put it out on YouTube. But I download videos that present condensed truth that I think maybe YouTube or Facebook would block. I download them. And this video, this lecture was so non-threatening that I didn't download it. Yeah, it's happening. Being slow. Maybe it's back. No. Oh well. No idea. So I'm not going to watch Dr. Bergman. I am not going to. Oh, I did want to say, I did want to play this.
But I thought this was really interesting information here that kind of shows that these numbers that we're hearing from China can't be true. And, we need to be vigilant and question what is being released in this Johns Hopkins database. Why isn't the WHO questioning China? Why is...
Then he goes on to mention some politicians, but why aren't we questioning the information being released by the Chinese Communist Party? It's a really pretty amazing question. And another thing is, Dr. Bergman, if you wind up watching this video and you need some kind of support that says, hey, how there was no nudity, harmful or dangerous content. How is it's like slides about the guy who invented the test that's being used that's identifying the coronavirus. It's like I'm still really trying to figure this out. Look, sections of, maybe maybe parts of the lecture were a little bit boring, but Dr. Bergman is an interesting character and was able to sort of keep the I still can't believe this. There were policies. There was no nudity or sexual content. There was no harmful or dangerous content. Hateful? Are you kidding me? Dr. Bergman's like this jovial guy. It was a nice, interesting lecture. Violent or graphic content. There was no violent or graphic content. Harassment or cyberbullying? Are you kidding me? Spam, misleading metadata, and scams. I learned about the doctor who invented the PCR test. What kind of spam or misleading metadata or scam could be there? I learned about it from a doctor that I've never been to, named Dr. Bergman. Sorry. Seems like a really nice guy. Did I subscribe? Am I subscribed? I subscribed and I, pressed do the little bell thing. Look, sciatica problems. If you got these problems, you could do that. And patient testimonials. Looks like a person running a chiropractic clinic, I guess it can be called, or practice, and doing his best. Look, making some videos, looking good, doing a lecture. I got adjustment stuff on his channel. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's the WHO, CDC stuff, COVID stuff, deaths. Okay, fine, whatever. Ireland's Prime Minister saying some really weird tinfoil hat stuff like, "Whoa, this is the silence before the storm," and blah. And people saying stuff like, "We're under threat from an invisible enemy." Like, okay. Right, the threats, we're under threat from an invisible enemy. That's okay. That's fine. But a doctor being like, "Hey, look, this is what you could do, and this is how the PCR test was invented." I'm really trying to, copyright. I don't. This is your lecture. Privacy. There's no issue with privacy. It was not. Didn't look like Dr. Bergman was impersonating anyone else or himself in an odd way. Child safety looks like the lecture was increasing child safety, and there are quote unquote additional policies on a range of subjects. Maybe it could be additional policies. I'm trying to find a policy that video could have violated, and I didn't download the video, so I'm doing it from memory. I did check the screenshots are from March 15th, so a week ago that I watched this lecture. Vulgar, no vulgar language. Inactive accounts is not an inactive account. Encouraging terms of service violations and age requirements. Okay, fine. So I'd like to know from YouTube why that video was removed. That really kind of, it really sets off alarm bells for me, because I want to live in a world where we're protected and where authority is of goodwill and is gained by the consent of the governed, really, right? And where authority doesn't gain at the expense of harm, but just doesn't harm, right? And to me, that video being gone, that's like harming truth. That's like, I mean, let's go back to where's Dr. John Bergman? I'll go history. So Corona adjusting. This is going to be Dr. Bergman. There he is. He's a jovial doctor. It's like a friendly guy. This is like YouTube being a mean schoolyard bully to the nice, friendly guy. Look at that. There's fruits and vegetables on his image. And he's there smiling, and I'm not seeing sort of the snake behind the smile. the evil. I'm not getting that from Dr. John. You know? I mean, I still drink coffee and stuff, so I'm not, in the best shape personally. It looked like a guy might, have a beer or two or something. But that's also fun. We're also Corona crazy, strengthening your immune system. Okay, well, that's apparently allowed. But I mean, this Dr. John Bergman guy looks like a really friendly doctor doing good things in the world. That's what that looks like to me. I watched a lecture. I liked the lecture. The lecture's gone for violating YouTube's community guidelines. What guideline? So, Dr. John, Dr. Bergman, what have I've watched 2 hours, because that was a long lecture. It was like an hour, right? And so I'm going to shoot super safe bet that I've watched 2 hours of Dr. John Bergman's content. Enjoyed it, liked it, laughed, felt good, learned super cool information, felt inspired to learn more about how we can create a better world for ourselves, our children, our grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. So, Dr. Bergman, that has been the impact that you've had on me, and under no circumstances do I think that your video violated YouTube's community guidelines in any way. Because other than if their community guidelines are centered on malice. Because if YouTube is intentionally malicious, then those kinds of videos have to go. If it's an activity of suppressing truth and vitality and safety and security, enjoyment and goodness, then of course it's gonna wind up being removed. But I'm going to suspend judgment, and unfortunately, a part of me is really starting to think, man, YouTube, you apparently don't have the best interests of humanity as the outcome of the way that your procedures are working, staff and procedures. That's really sad. Okay, your staff and procedures should have an outcome that is positive and helpful and enjoyable, not suppressive and controlling and disturbing. This is another red flag for me. I find it super inappropriate that YouTube removed that video. Okay, so Dr. John Bergman, thank you for making the lecture. I'm glad that I watched it. I certainly don't think that it violated YouTube's community guidelines. And apparently when you make videos, you can like click and you can contest it. And if you want to use this video as a reference for why your video can't possibly have violated any YouTube community guidelines, to me, that's just like, it's like electrically feels like a violation. It feels like I'm watching a schoolyard bully, you know, on oh, you're so big, YouTube. Ooh, like the big, unfortunately, kind of dumb bully sees the friendly and happy Dr. Bergman, and like Dr. Bergman's in 6th grade and I'm in 4th grade, right? And YouTube is also in 6th grade, but had to repeat the grade 2 times. So you two had to repeat a grade 2 times. Is if 8th grade age is picking on Dr. Bergman, you know, who's in 6th grade, and I'm in 4th grade watching this exchange, and you know, meanie pants bully YouTube is beating up on Dr. Bergman, on John, and I'm watching this, and I'm in 4th grade. All right. I mean, I don't know, what do I have, a couple of hundred subscribers? This guy's got 683,000 subscribers. I'm like in kindergarten compared to Dr. Bergman. If we're looking at, you know, YouTube following, also kind of don't really, I don't know, I haven't been concentrating on YouTube as my platform really, or my tool for connecting to my audience really. So I just feel like Dr. Bergman's getting picked on by a bully, and I don't think that it's fair. So YouTube, I'd like you to actually to republish the video and apologize to Dr. Bergman. That's what I'd like you to do. It wasn't fair. Don't bully Dr. Bergman. Don't make Dr. Bergman afraid. Doctors are afraid for their lives, especially naturopaths. They're like out there and they're afraid for their lives. They're afraid to lose their licenses to practice because they say things like, gee, you can, I don't know, heal, you can't use the word cure, heal yourself of chronic migraines or something like that, or heal yourself of chronic back pain. You got to use all these weird words just to try to help people. So you know what, YouTube? Don't bully John Bergman, okay? Reinstate the video, especially if he presses the contesting thing, and put the video back up. That's ridiculous. What kind of community guidelines do you have? How bad was that lecture? It was a fine lecture. It was so innocent that I didn't even download it. What's wrong with the lecture? How to wipe out the coronavirus? What? What are the governments trying to do? Magnify the coronavirus? What is this? The implication that he can wipe out the coronavirus and that he's some kind of global cleaning crew? Are we really so dumb in the audience of the world that we think that, you know, we're going to see something that's titled "How to Wipe Out the Coronavirus" and it's going to be like this magic potion, pixie dust is going to be sprinkled onto into our atmosphere, and it's just going to fix everything, and we have to just pay Dr. Bergman $10 billion and he's going to give us the right pixie dust? Is it because of the title? Because the title inspires hope? Or it might be a little bit of a bold statement. People make bold statements. Not allowed to make a bold statement that, I mean, I don't know. I'd like an explanation, and I liked the video, and I think that it should. I think that YouTube always I think that YouTube really needs to have like some people come on and be like, look, we removed it because of this. Or is this just a bunch of robots removing stuff, and this is some kind of an algorithm, and the algorithm should be told you're making mistakes. I don't know what. So anyway, that bugged me enough to make a video, and I hope you're enjoying your. I hope you're enjoying your now and your awareness, and that looking into your future and expect and all of your expectations regarding the next even several years and decades of your life, that those bring you joy and a feeling of safety, a feeling of relaxation, and happiness. Take care and thanks for your attention.